Welcome to the Halloween version of Rayner's Trainers Takeaways. Today I'd like to talk to you about the power of positive self-talk. I want to introduce you to a diagram that brilliantly illustrates how we have choices in what we do and how our self-talk can make a massive impact on those outcomes and results. So you can choose to positively empower yourself and get great results, or you can choose to negatively limit yourself and fail. Indeed, the more we explore this process, the more we begin to realise that there really are no limits to what we can achieve, other than those limits that we put upon ourselves. The reason I have chosen to talk about this today is that I think it ties really nicely into the Halloween theme. We're often carrying around our own inner demons, our own internal critic, that voice in your head that tells you that you can't do something, that voice in your head that tells you you're bad at something, that voice in your head that tells you you shouldn't even try. And what I'd like to do today is explore ways in which we can change that, how we can turn that inner critic into an inner champion that drives you,
Brilliant.
that celebrates you,
Brilliant.
that helps you be more successful.
Very good. Very good.
So, what I'd like to do then is introduce you to the diagram on positive self-talk. So, let's create a positive self-talk diagram. First of all, we need a triangle. Thank you. Now, at the top of the triangle, we're going to introduce the first part of the diagram. And I'm going to introduce you to each of the three parts of the diagram, and I'm then going to take you through some examples. And I want you to reflect on yourself as we go through this and think about how they might relate to you. So, at the top of the triangle, we have self-image. Now, self-image is how you see yourself today in the moment, and it's really in relation to what it is you're going to be doing next. And that self-image is going to be built up from a multitude of different things. So it could be your past life experiences. So have you tried this thing before? Were you successful? Did you fail? How do you see yourself in relation to your peers? Do you believe in yourself? Do you think you're not as good as your peers? What are your beliefs? What are your values? What do you think about yourself in relation to the media and how you might or may not be depicted? There's a huge number of things that go into your brain in relation to your self-image. A lot of those things are being done on a subconscious level, and some of those are on a conscious level. But the mishmash really does form your own opinion of yourself in relation to whatever it is you're going to be doing next. So self-image is important. Now, how you see yourself in relation to what it is you're going to be doing next is going to have a massive positive or negative impact on the actual performance. So your performance is the next part of the triangle. So let's take an example. Let's say you are going to be doing some public speaking. You're going to be presenting in front of a group of people, whether that's face-to-face or over a webinar. Now, your self-image might be very, very confident. You might be great at public speaking. You might really enjoy the challenge of speaking in front of people. In which case, you're going to be going into your performance feeling really good about yourself. You might visualize yourself being successful. And that positivity is going to have a positive impact on your actual performance. Because if you believe you're going to do well, you know you can do well, you've done it before, then there's a very good chance that you're actually going to do a good job. Okay? Now let's think about that if you're not so confident about public speaking or you're not so confident about presenting. Now, if your self-image in relation to that is not good, do you feel that you've made mistakes in the past, you're really, really nervous, you tell yourself you're useless, then before you even perform, you're going to have a huge amount of baggage. And that baggage is going to drag back your performance. So that's going to have a negative impact on your performance. Because if you tell yourself you're going to fail, you might visualize yourself failing. By the time you stand up to present, the nerves are going to be evident in your hands shaking. Your voice might be croaky. It'll be obvious that you're not feeling very confident. and therefore you probably won't succeed in your performance. So self-image and how it relates to the performance that you're about to do is really, really important. If you believe in yourself, you're more likely to succeed. If for whatever reason you don't think you have a very good self-image, you don't really believe in yourself, then you're probably going to fail. So that's really important. Now, the final part of the diagram is self-talk. Now, hopefully you've all got a voice inside your head. I mean, I've got several, but I am saying something about that. Now, that voice inside your head is continually giving you feedback on your performance. It's letting you know what it thinks about what you're doing and whether you're doing a good job or a bad job. Unfortunately, in my experience, a lot of people have a negative self-voice. They don't have a positive self-talking voice inside their heads. So often, if you are feeling nervous about public speaking, you get up to present, instead of saying, wow, okay, that wasn't as bad as I thought, I did some things really, really well, what your voice inside your head starts to do is it starts to tell you all the things that are going wrong. And it will tell you that people think you're doing a bad job. And it will tell you that you just stuttered, that you just repeated a word, that you tumbled over a sentence. And that self-talk, if it's negative, will have an impact on your self-image. And that might have an impact straight away on your performance, and therefore you make more mistakes, things go wrong, the voice gets louder. And the voice would say, you're useless, you're terrible. I can't even believe I'm in your head. I can't believe you're doing this. And you start to form a negative cycle. So, self-image, your performance, self-talk. Really, really important. And we're going to go around this diagram a few times, and we're going to explore what happens in a negative situation, and we're going to explore what happens in a positive situation. And we're going to look at some techniques and ideas about how we might want to change that self-talk.